I think we have to understand that we are not the hero in the story. We are the guide. So when we post things like 8 million sold in the month of March, what message does that convey to your followers, like other than the fact that you made money?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Walk Thru podcast presented by BAM, your go-to marketing and branding podcast. My name is Dan O'Neill, team leader in New York and Florida, and today I am fired up. You want to know why? Because not only am I joined by Miss Lindsay Joe, I'm also joined by Miss Marie Lee from Tennessee and the CEO of Ferry International, aka Eric the Broke Agent Simon. But not only because of all of this, because it's the first week of April, aka baseball season is back. It's the first week of April, aka the Masters is next week, aka my country club opens tomorrow, aka it's spring, aka my Japanese maple tree is going to be in full bloom in about a week. But I'm also, and maybe even more importantly, fired up because today we are talking the age-old question of how often should we actually be posting April content ideas, what's working in our real estate marketing, the best thing we've seen this week, and much, much more. But first, gently tap that like button, drop a comment, sub to the channel. Hi, Mrs. Simon. You guys ready?
Yes. Hell of an intro.
Yep.
6-1 Yankees. Let's go.
Yeah, all right, whatever. Mets are like 0-10. First topic. How often should we be posting? Mr. CEO of Ferry International, Eric the Broke Agent Simon, would you allow us?
That's right. Tom Ferry is now my unpaid intern. If you tuned into last week, you saw that Tom attacked me viciously in his Instagram stories, claiming that Byron was the CEO of the Broke Agent. The comments have been defending me after that viral clip, Dan. I don't know if you saw that, but everybody was on my side. They said that I am the CEO, and I am also going to be the CEO of Ferry International. All right, so this is the age-old question, Dan. This is what everybody always wants to know. How often should you post on Instagram? And there's a reason I'm bringing this up today, not because we have nothing to talk about, because we talk about marketing tips every single week. This is definitely a reason, okay? And the reason is Meta is actually having conversations with people. I don't know, Marie, have you had these conversations with Instagram? Have they reached out to you? What about you, Lindsay? Have they called you and had an actual strategy session with you?
No.
Okay, this is actually happening where creators are having phone calls with Meta, and Meta is giving people insight on how often they should post on Instagram. So Haley, if we could play this clip from a woman who had a conversation with Meta and they told her the exact amount of times you should post on Instagram.
They call you, Eric?
On Instagram. Had a call with Meta and they gave me the exact number on what is working now. Make sure you're following Dig's Design so you can keep up with all the social media strategy that's going on. On Meta's current algorithm, they recommend you post 3 to 5 times a week to stay in loop. They know that you were an active account. Posting more than 5 times a week will not hurt you, but it's just kind of not necessary for the algorithm that they are using. Less than 3 times a week is going to make you fall out of line, so it's not going to be picking up your content. Here's the kicker. Stories do count in these 3 to 5 times a week posts. They do not have to all be static posts or reels. Hope this helps. Happy Instagramming.
Thank you. Thank you, Dig's Design. That does help. 3 to 5 times per week. If you pepper in too much content, Meta actually doesn't care that much. This is a new revelation, everybody, because all we've heard the past 5-6 years from the Gary V's, the Grant Cardones, is volume, 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 quantity. Just keep flooding your feed with Instagram posts. I'm pulling back. I used to do 2 or 3 times a day. I'm doing like 6 a week now. I know Actually Agents has pulled back. I've seen Gary V pull back a little bit. I've seen Grant Cardone, not that I follow him, but he has made a statement on the Ryan Pineda Classic podcast. Not that I listen to that, but they are all pulling back on their content for a reason. It is quality over quantity. Yes, Dan, your thoughts.
First thought and question was like, that can't be true. Like, I don't think Mark Zuckerberg or somebody from, you can't even, I've been locked out of Facebook for 9 months. Sammy's boyfriend works at Meta and I can't even get a plug in there. There's no way that Meta's calling this woman up. Hey, Susie, just a quick little, FYI here. Make sure you're posting. No shot. But I believe what she's saying.
Well, guess what? I have inside information. This is true. Tom Toole reached out to me and said Meta reached out to him directly in an email. I swear to God, saying, "Hey, if you want to have a strategy session, I swear on my life,
that's
ask
a wrong
Tom
email."
So this is happening. It's not the wrong email. And then Tom Toole, I think, actually had the call. So this is going, by the way, these videos are going viral. I've seen 5 or 6 of these of people saying they've had conversations with Meta 3 to 5 times a week in your feed. Marie, what are your thoughts on this? How often are you posting? Let's end this debate right now. Do you think it should be more? Do you think it should be less?
Well, my first thought is I've got to change my email because I think my Facebook email is the same as it was in college. I don't have access to that
Same.
anymore. Maybe I could have had this opportunity, you know? So that's number one. Number two, I notice when I'm posting more and more frequently, my engagement just kind of plummets. The views, the engagement in general. I think it's interesting. I think right now I'm posting maybe like 3 to 4 times a week, but I find it interesting that they're counting stories as a metric in this because I don't think anybody was thinking about that. Everybody's thinking about how often should I be posting on my feed, how many reels should I be posting, etc. But I feel like I'm really trying to reframe the way that I'm thinking about stories and seeing how that's now considered to be a metric. Like, I can focus a little bit more on the quality of the content that I'm putting out than the quantity of the content that I'm putting out.
This is good news for everybody. This is exciting. It's overwhelming to think that you have to post once or twice a day. Lindsay, how often are you
Yeah.
posting, and do you agree with Meta's insights?
Yeah, I'm definitely quality over quantity. I'm posting about 1 to 2 times a week right now. I started noticing that my engagement for reels were significantly down. So I'm not even posting reels right now unless it's a collab to get in front of someone else's audience to get better engagement. Like you can go look at my page. The last time I posted a reel that wasn't a collab was on March 6th. So I'm definitely slowing down on the amount of posts. And we all know that when you take a break from Instagram and start slowing down on your amount of posts, Instagram wants you to become obsessed with the app again. And I think you get better engagement the next time you post after you take a little bit of a break.
Very true. They give you that juice again because they're like, oh, she's back. Let's pump up her numbers. Let's get her addicted to the algorithm again. Speaking of not being addicted to the algorithm, we got Danny Deals here, Mr. Social Media Cleanse. So give us your thoughts, Dan. You're going quality over quantity, right? Or what's your plan here?
That was maybe the best transition you've ever had in your entire life on the show. I got to give you some snaps for that.
Thank you.
By the
I'm
way,
on fire
Tom Toole,
today.
yeah, we're both about to be. Tom Toole getting a call from Meta is like you getting a call from Elon Musk to help design a SpaceX rocket. That makes just an absolutely zero sense. But more importantly, so I've been spending, and I've been saying this on the show for weeks, and you just didn't believe me until I finally screenshotted it. I've been, it was 40 minutes, then 30 minutes, and now I'm down sub 15 minutes a day scrolling. I posted the screenshot.
Oh, yes.
That's not I don't need you to do that. It's for my own mental. It's for my own mental. So with that, I think that this is an age old debate. It's going to happen. We can debate this until we're going back to, MySpace. At the end of the day, everyone is unique and everybody is different. So whatever that metric looks like for you is maybe is going to be different than you, Eric, right? You can post more than we can. But I think it's really important to have content life. So don't just have it on, maybe Instagram, or don't just make it a reel. Be posting it on LinkedIn and other platforms. Switch up the content, right? Have the variation like we always talk about. Don't just make it the same old thing every single time. Otherwise, no one's going to watch. And make sure that you're like testing, right? Like test something, and if it works, double down on it. If it doesn't work, okay, well, maybe now you know. But I think that I could just say by experience, like the people that post 7 times a week, like an actual reel or on their feed, most times I'm not watching. Unless it's like a Leonetti or a Taya, where like it's just an absolute banger, like a must watch. I'm probably scrolling right past it in my 12 minutes of time there. So I think everybody's different, but I think the key takeaway is to track and measure. What are you laughing at?
I'm smiling. I'm having a good time. We're with a good crew. Lindsay's nodding her head. Marie's nodding her head. You're making good points. We're all nodding our head. It's just
I'm taking notes, Dan. I feel like
notes.
you're dropping knowledge.
You're dropping heaters.
Yeah.
What I think the overarching theme is like, yeah, maybe that works for Susie Q over there, right? And maybe that's her advice. What works for you, Eric, is going to be different. That works for me, Miss Marie Lee, and Lindsay Joe. But I think it's important to find out what does work for you. And it's important to track that, and it's important to experiment, but it's most important to track. So that way and that way you can start, switching up your content and putting it on different platforms.
Yeah, I think the real takeaway here is that quality over quantity is what is in right now, especially now. And I mentioned this last week, but there's such a spotlight on real estate agents after this NAR settlement. Everyone is wondering, what are real estate agents going to post? Are they making fools of themselves? Are they, posting memes? Are they like, how are they going to approach the situation? And it's all about like value-based content quality now. So I think this is a welcome shift. Let us know in the comments, by the way, a little engagement hack right there, Dan. Let us know in the comments how much you're posting on Instagram. Is it 3 times? Is it 6 times? Is it like Marie, where she's doing 80 times a week on Instagram?
I don't know.
She is
that.
flooding your feed. It's
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Eric, you know what's
Dan's
even?
scrolling right past it.
I'm not even opening up the app.
Yeah.
There really is something to be said, though. Sorry, Dan. There really is something to be said about if you see someone and it's overexposure, like a Ryan Pineda, for example. This guy posts 5 or 6 times a day, and then eventually you just get, and you, like, he has some good content, but eventually you get so used to it that you're just going to scroll by. When you see a Matt Leonetti video, because he posts once a week, once every 2 weeks, you're going to watch it. When you see a Lindsay Joe video, you're going to watch it. When you see a Danny Deals video now, you're going to watch it. When you see a Marie Lee
You're
video,
gonna scroll right past it.
you're gonna
Yeah.
you're gonna log off the app. No, Marie's got the best content. Follow Move Me to Tennessee.
All right, like Eric said, let us know in the comments what you think and how often and how frequently you are posting. Make sure to like, comment, get into BAMX. Price is going up. You already know that. Second topic here, we have some quick April content ideas. Eric, I'm just lobbing you spike balls over here. Just put this in my face here. Eric, do you have some April content ideas? Because I do, and I actually remember what I was going to say before too. Damn it, I remember what I was going to say. All right, go ahead. April content ideas.
All right, April content ideas. I wish it was the first of the month, Dan, because that would be April Fool's Day, and we could do some content around that. But unfortunately, it is not. It is the 4th. But I still have some genius content ideas for you. Let's see what we got here. April 11th to 14th, Dan. You know what this is, right? Do you know what April 11th to 14th is? Lindsay, Marie?
No.
Groundhog's Day?
Masters. Augusta, a tradition unlike any other. I have been doing a tradition unlike any other posts for a very long time on my Instagram. I think real estate agents can replicate this content. So a tradition unlike any other is the Masters tagline. So how can agents do that? They could say something like, leaving continuing ed to the last second before your license expires, a tradition unlike any other. Open house guests arriving the second you close your final window, a tradition unlike any other. What else? You guys got any traditions unlike any others?
My mic
a
not
dad
working.
at an inspection.
Yeah.
Dan's mic not working, a tradition unlike any other. The lockbox not working, a tradition unlike any other. Marie Lee appearing on your feed when you go on Instagram, a tradition unlike any other. So those are your April content ideas. No, that's just for the Masters. And then April 15th, here's a good one. April 15th, a scary day, tax day. Have we done our taxes here? How can you help your clients with their taxes? Obviously, you're not going to be their financial advisor, but can you point them in the direction? Listen, just an idea here. Can you point them in the direction of how they should manage their finances? How can they save for a down payment? Where can they cut costs? Should they use QuickBooks? I don't know. Just a little idea. April 15th, tax day. You could also do some content around how everything's a write-off if you're a real estate agent. Drinks, golfing at the club, Bam Bash, your car. Yes, Dan?
I have some good ones, Eric.
Okay.
Yeah, Eric Simon, CPA here. It's a spring, right? So spring weather, spring cleaning.
Exactly.
A ton of people are doing some spring cleaning, right? So maybe you could do some filming of your own self doing it, right? So some BTS. It's also the start of quarter 2. So maybe do a recap of quarter 1. Maybe do a recap of your own numbers in quarter 1. Were you on target? Are you ahead? Are you behind? That's a cool little video right there, right? What to expect in quarter 2, right? So what maybe are some market trends? What are your goals? What are you going to be committed to for Q2 here? Some spring activities. I'm going to be golfing every Friday. You know that. New parks, new spotlights. Maybe there's a cool place in town that just opened up that's got a nice little, dog lounge or an outdoor bar. Maybe outdoor venues, right? Why is now a good time to buy, Eric? I don't know. I can ask you that for the last 9 years. Why is now maybe not a good time to buy? Or maybe why is now a good time to sell? Or maybe why wouldn't it be? Or, hey, Eric, is it true we don't have to pay a 6% commission anymore? Boom. That's a video right there. That is a video right there. Boom. April content ideas, Masters.
How is that April? How is that related to April?
It's just
ChatGPT for another win, Dan. That was fantastic. Those are the exact ones that spit out every month. No, not on God. I have plugged in April content ideas. That's the exact list it gives me.
I did too, and there's not. I'll read you.
Nope.
Nope. I'll read it to you because it's actually right here.
No, I believe.
No,
All right.
no,
Oh, there
I'm
it
gonna read
is.
it to you.
Oh, there it is on your
Mr.
phone. Okay. Well,
ChatGPT,
then
I said
let's-
April content ideas for a real estate brand. Spring into savings, home makeover tips, neighborhood spotlights, first-time homebuyer series, virtual tours, investment opportunities, local market trends, client testimonials, DIY home improvements, and community events. That's ChatGPT. I didn't say a single thing of that. How you
All
doing?
right. Well,
Ding,
those
ding,
are
ding,
those are
ding.
great ideas. Here's a couple more. Ready? April 17th, we got something called BAM Fest. That's a free event that everybody has to attend. That's like BAM Pro Bowl, except BAM Fest. Marie Lee spoke at BAM Pro Bowl last time. People were going insane after her speech. The crowd was going ballistic. So we got BAM Fest. We got BAM Fest coming up with Jared James, Jordan Cohen, incredible lineup right there. So there's a link in the description. Make sure you sign up for that. April 18th, it's BAM's second birthday. Can you believe it? It's been 2 years of BAM in existence.
Oh,
My
Happy
mom's
Pretty
birthday.
crazy. So
birthday!
thank
happy
you. Thank you. It's
birthday.
also Dan's birthday. Make sure you wish Dan a birthday. I can't believe I actually saw a video of you celebrating your birthday last night, Dan.
I
It's been
wasn't.
going on for
It was
6 months now.
I wasn't. Somebody like pranked me. It was a joke. But it's crazy. Bam's April 18th. That's my mother's birthday. It's so wild too because I remember in the beginning it was supposed to be like January, and then it kept getting like pushed back. You remember, like between
Yeah,
two lock boxes, we were like, no, hold off 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's wild. It's already been 2 years. It feels like it's been
I know.
a lifetime. My God.
April 18th, also the day that GameCube came out. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
remember this. Were you guys
wow.
waiting in line outside of Target at 5 a.m. like me to get
No.
Luigi's Mansion on GameCube? Let us know in the
Nope.
comments. Also, April 20th. Do we know what this is, Marie? Your favorite holiday?
Isn't this 420? If I have to take a
Oh,
guess.
420.
Wow.
That's right. So could you do content around 420? Yes. But, could you turn off some of your audience? Yes. What about property values around dispensaries? How has the effect of legalization of marijuana in your
Oh,
area affected housing prices? How about this, Marie? We talked about this in the coffee and contracts brainstorm. The best munchie spots. So that way you're
Yeah.
not touching upon 420, but you're saying, hey, here are the best munchie spots in Tucson. Why don't you go to Carmelo's, get yourself a little Sonoran hot dog at 2 a.m., huh? That
With
feels
that
good in the
being
morning.
said, we've been getting some notifications that coffee and contracts content was fire in April, and I do think you were given quite a few gems in that one particular content planning session, including a little 420 action. So,
Including
um,
some munchie spots. Exactly. So anyone else, feel free, if anyone else has any content ideas for April, let us know. April 22nd is Earth Day. So
and
there
why
you
you
go.
I
I know
learned more
that's
about upcoming holidays on this show than I did in 21 years of like schooling. It's insane.
exactly. Well, eco-friendly housing tips. I don't know there, but there you go.
Oh my
April 30th is also it's Haley's birthday, the producer. So fantastic. Happy birthday to Haley, who
Happy
puts
birthday,
on the
Haley.
show.
happy
happy
Any other,
birthday!
any other
Wish
April content
Haley happy
ideas?
birthday.
We good on April content ideas?
Yeah.
All
Next.
right.
Yeah.
April content. There you go. Those are your ideas. And by the way, if you want more insights on how to be formulating your content, how to trend jack, how to get more engagement on your content, how to get more emails from your lead magnets, Lindsay Joe's favorite thing to do, my favorite thing to do. I just launched a whole lead magnet course in BAMX on April 1st, on April Fool's Day. Get into BAMX right now. Use code walkthrough for 10% off. Get in there. All right. So moving on to the third topic. This is what's working for us in real estate marketing. Dan, I feel like I've been doing a lot of talking this episode. I'm going to kick it to Lindsay. And Lindsay,
Yeah.
why don't you let us know what's working for you right now in real
Okay.
estate marketing?
Yes. So it's working in my marketing right now is creating content that showcases my clients as the focus. And I think we have to understand that we are not the hero in the story. We are the guide. So when we post things like 8 million sold in the month of March, what message does that convey to your followers? Like, other than the fact that you made money, like, what story does that tell me about you? And how am I going to feel connected to you? Right. And I do think it's important to showcase that you are busy with real estate, obviously, but there has to be a story behind it. So, tactically, I have a few tips for agents on how to showcase our clients as the hero and us as the guide. So, number one, you can bring champagne to your final walkthrough and have your clients spray the the champagne in front of the house that they purchased. And if you're doing this as a feed post, collab with your client so you get on their Instagram page. And then for the caption, tell their story about how much that house meant to them. And if you're doing this on your story instead of a feed post, still tag your clients. And 99% of the time, they're still going to repost it on their story. And then you're going to get in front of all of their followers. So that's tip number 1. Number 2, put your closing photos on your story, not as a feed post. Then create a highlight that says 2024 closings and add all of those closing photos to your 2024 closings highlight. And then when people go to your page, they see that highlight reel at the top of your page. They can click through all your closings for that year, and it looks super impressive because people are just looking at all these transactions that you've done for that entire year. So that way your feed is not cluttered with a bunch of just listed and just sold posts that don't get a ton of engagement. And if you've only sold like 3 homes this year, I would still do it, but just document everything. So do a story post of the showing, the inspection, the appraisal, the walkthrough, and then the closing. That's 5 story posts for one transaction that can be added to your 2024 closing highlight, which makes you look like you are doing a lot more business than you actually are. So that's number 2. I have one more. The last tip, showcase your success, but show that you are an underdog. So people love to root for you when you're vulnerable and you show them that you're building something. Like they feel like they are along for the ride and building with you. So for example, I posted a reel with a text overlay that said, when my former broker said I just wanted to be an Instagram star and not sell real estate. And I used a super dramatic song, the beat dropped, and then the text said 100 million sold. And then I took screenshots of $100 million worth of properties that I had sold, and I added them into that reel. That reel performed really well because it pushed the boundaries, number 1. It showed social proof that I was actually busy selling real estate, and I showed that I was an underdog. So tactically, you could take inspo from my reel and use text like when everyone said, don't get your real estate license, there are too many realtors, or someone told me I couldn't be a successful realtor and a single mom. Then the beat drops and you showcase a bunch of homes that you sold. For the caption, put your focus on your clients. Say that you're so thankful that they put their trust in you as their realtor, even when other people doubted you at times, and even when you maybe doubted yourself. So those are just a couple of my ideas, but the point is like, show that someone once viewed you as an underdog and that you proved them wrong and push the boundaries, because I think when we push the boundaries a little bit, we're more memorable. So
Someone once
that's
told
all
me I wouldn't be the CEO of the Tom Ferry organization. And now I have Jason Pantana delivering me caviar and champagne at my pool, right, Dan? I got Pantana. I got a little dog whistle on him. I have a little dog whistle. I just go, and then Pantana pops up, and ChatGPT's his way over, shines my shoes, gives
You
me a
leave him a
gives
Google
me a little
review.
caviar.
Yeah.
Yeah, gives me a little Google review, talks about Google My Business, and then he gives me a little caviar, just a little drop in the mouth right there. Those are great tips, Lindsay. Haley, that's a clip right there.
That's a clip. Yay.
That's a clip. All right, Marie, what's
Yeah.
working for you right now? Flooding the feed?
No.
420 posts?
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to. I think that's maybe, I don't know if that's worse than the leprechaun comment from a couple weeks ago, but anyway, so I think I'm really surprised because I took a leap of faith a couple of weeks ago and just posted an old school photo, just one singular
What?
photo. Yeah,
Really?
no reel, no carousel, no swipe post or anything. I just did a singular photo. And I was like, I'm just gonna put this out there. One, I had some brand photos that were done. I needed to start getting those out there. But two, yeah, it was like in terms of the NARS settlement. I know that we were just talking about what you should and should not say. I don't think you should say anything, but I think you should be inviting people into the conversation with you. So I post this one still photo, and I'm like, hey, I know you've probably heard the news about the real estate market. There's a lot of good information, a lot of bad information. If you have questions, reach out to me. Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's talk about it so we can have some direct conversations. That post in itself got a fair amount of engagement, more engagement than the reels that I have been posting, the millions of
Mhm.
reels that I've been posting. But then I tried it again. So I recently transitioned brokerages. I did a video announcement that got fair engagement, views, and everything. But I decided to take that announcement, redo it again, and just post a photo with my new brokerage logo. And if that did not outperform the video that I posted, that brought me more engagement, more follows, and I was like, okay, maybe photos do have a
Mhm.
place on your feed. You know,
Yeah.
we're talking about quality
Photos are
versus
back.
we're talking about quality over quantity. You know, if you're posting some nasty photos that you're taking on your iPhone, you haven't wiped your screen, you're probably not going to be
Mm.
getting much engagement. Sorry,
Ew.
I saw somebody post something yesterday. I was like, did you not wipe your phone camera before you
Oh,
posted
that is
this?
disgusting.
That's the tip of the
No.
week. That's a clip, Haley. Two, um,
That's it. Clip it.
yeah, but two, I think another really great opportunity for people right now is to be utilizing their close friends list. So personally, for the past few years, I've run like a home buyer boot camp, and I know that that sounds really audacious and like, oh wow, that's quite a production. No, it's not. I have a home buyer guide, a lead magnet that has information that people want. And people can sign up for it on my link in bio, but I also want to offer them an opportunity where I can present them the information and in a small, tangible way. So I will advertise on my stories, hey, if you're thinking about becoming a homeowner within the next 12 months, sign up for my free homeowners club and you'll be put on this exclusive list. I go and add them into my close friends list on Instagram. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking that home buyer guide, but I'm chunking it down week by week, topic by topic, and I'm spreading it out over 8 weeks or so. So I'm going live on Facebook and I am in my close friends list where I am giving them the information, following up with a recap email, and then going live answering questions that they have. It takes a little bit of planning, but I think within the last 2 years, I've closed 5 deals from doing this. When we're talking about using
Oh.
social to generate leads, we think a lot about content, but I think we also need to start thinking about how are we creating a community or how are we pouring into people, because that's a really great lead capture moment right there. Or you're converting the people that you already have following you into clients.
I mean, Dan,
Genius.
the amount of value that Lindsay and Marie just delivered here is bananas. I just took so many notes from that about like potential clips and everything. The entire thing's a clip. That's like an 8-minute clip right there.
Clip.
So I don't even know what we're gonna do. Clip that too. That was so much value. Thank you, Marie. I also like that you did the real announcement twice. You should just do a real announcement or that you joined every month, kind of like how we're doing it. How it's our birthday, you just keep
Yeah.
joining the same brokerage over and over and over again.
I'm gonna put like a birthday hat on. It's gonna be kind of like one of those hidden
Just has a
Mickeys once you
leprechaun.
guys see it. Yeah.
First off, I want to say it is my birthday. Second off, I want to let you know that I did join a new brokerage. Third off, just keep going and going. I love
Yeah.
those tips. Great job. Dan, what about you? What's working for you?
That's tough to follow, but Haley, can you
Yeah,
do me a favor
seriously.
and can you clip this? So what I've been doing is I have actually been taking a step back here as Danny Data to really analyze all of the different analytics and come back with a plan ready to rock. So number one, I've been doing audience research. So your audience is the foundation of everything that you do on social media. Really, they're the foundation of everything that you do in your business, period. So that means you need to know who they are, what they want, and how they spend their time on these social platforms. The information will guide all the other best practices for social media marketing within your company, or even if you're just a solo agent. So every social marketing team should be able to answer the following basic questions, like who are your customers, where do they hang out on, like in real life and also online, what do they care about, do they already know you, what do they think of you, it is what you want them to think of you, what are their interests, and what types of content are they most likely to enjoy and engage with. And I also have here something, it's a cool little graph of the change in platform use for business. And between 2022 and 2023. So TikTok went up by 16%, LinkedIn went up by 5%, Instagram went up by 1%. YouTube stayed the same, Snapchat stayed the same, Facebook went down 1%. Shout out to Tom Toole. X went down 7%. I make up 93% of that. Pinterest went down 11%. So this is a pretty good, kind of graph and chart here of like where maybe you should be spending your time, with your audience. So building the presence on the right networks is also then very important too. So the average social media user is on 7 social platforms, but does your brand need to be? The simple answer is no, absolutely not. Where you would like to be, right, and you'd like to be as much as you humanly possibly can, you need to connect with your audience, but not on every single platform that they use. In fact, this could actually contribute to brand fatigue. So now if I open up my Instagram and I see Miss Marie Lee in a leprechaun outfit on Instagram and then on YouTube and then TikTok, teasing, but right, all these different platforms, like you get a
She's
little bit of
everywhere.
brand, brand fatigue. Like Ryan Pineda is a perfect example of it. I can't get away from the guy. It's like a bad car accident. So since people want to tend to use social platforms for different purposes, they don't want to connect with brands or at least the same brands in every single place. So that's kind of some of the research that I've been doing. And then lastly, and you guys are going to laugh at me, but I'm actually using, like I said this last week, but I'm actually using AI and utilizing it in content in many ways, in the sense that I spoke about it last week on the show, but now in actually utilizing it, here's a quick little tip for you. So um, AI forces brands to obviously redefine their authenticity. But yesterday, I wanted to create a landing page and a domain for a new development that we have coming out, and I waited until the last minute. My marketing team that I pay way too much money for, I know they're never going to watch this, so I don't even care. They said that they couldn't do it; they didn't know how to. I had to sit there with Sammy, and I used like an AI bot. And I actually told Lindsay this, and I created a pretty legit website in like an hour. And I did all AI. Like I didn't do anything. It was insane. So in using AI, here's a few things that you can do that won't eliminate that I've been using for that I don't think will affect your authenticity. So number one is to edit and refine text. Clearly that I'm not using that one. Number two is produce ad text from scratch. 3, develop new ideas. 4, completely revise and rewrite text. I'm not using that one either. Produce customer support tech from scratch. Edit images, generate images, use a chatbot to respond to messages, and so much more. So that's what I'm doing. I am taking a step back to gather all of the pertinent information so that way I can come back with a slam dunk like Michael Jordan, Eric. Clip that, Haley.
Wow. I mean, clip it. Unbelievable advice here. If you guys are liking the information on this podcast, please throw it a like. Throw Marie Lee, Lindsay Joe, and Danny Deals likes for those incredible tips right here. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel too, so you don't miss this next week. I don't know how I'm going to follow that, but Dan, I want to echo your point about knowing who your audience is, where they hang out, and everything. That is really important to actually get the demographics of who your audience is, and so you could actually speak to them. So great points, Dan. I know that was not from ChatGPT. That came from your big brain.
Don't.
Your big noggin right there. You know what? I'm not even going to say what's working for me because I think that was good. I think we covered it. I mean, I'll just give a brief tip. I think I've said this before, but swiper bangers is what's working for me. I like to post old bangers. I like to go back. What's that?
No, never mind.
Blue Chew?
Yeah, never mind.
I like to go back and look at my reels that have performed well in 2020, 2021, 2022, and make a big swiper post because I know those have performed well in the past. I know that they'll perform well in the future. That's a simple tip right there.
As we move on here to the best thing that we've seen of the week, do you know who the best person I saw last week was at the marketing event, Tom Ferry's event over in New Jersey, Eric? It is Mr. Luke Acree. She was not there. She was not there, but Luke Acree of the president of Reminder Media was there.
Yeah, Marie was at the Nashville one. How could I cross those signals there? If you're an agent looking to stand out for the crowd, you got to check out Luke Acree and Reminder Media because it is a resource that you have to have. You get your own branded print and digital magazines, email newsletters. They deliver these resources to your contacts on autopilot, keeping you top of mind in your database. All you got to do is focus on your follow-up calls and watch referrals and repeat business roll in. Use the link below to try out Reminder Media. And Luke Acree, incredible content creator, great voice, by the way.
Yeah, he's a beauty. I had him in my video. He's an absolute beauty. Great looking dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
Got a little
Speaking
weird.
of great-looking dudes, let's get into the best thing that we have seen
Why is that
week.
weird? He's a handsome-looking guy. He's got great hair. He's got a firm
Okay.
handshake. He's a good-looking dude. He's a beauty.
He would have a firm
You know?
handshake. You know what I always
Yeah.
do with handshakes is I try not to be too firm with them because I don't feel like I need to establish dominance over someone by like over shaking their hand.
Right, and that's
You're
why
also
Tom
Like,
Ferry
like
is saying
I
he's the
almost-
CEO of your
6'8".
business.
What, Dan?
I said that's why Tom Ferry is saying that he's the CEO of your business because when you shake his hand, you're probably like giving him like a little limp Dave Portnoy handshake.
No, I shake it normal. I'm just saying people that shake your hand too hard, you're like, all right, man, like I get it. You're just trying to like assert a little dominance here.
Yeah.
I feel
I think
like you
there's
could just look at them. You know, you normally tower over everyone. I don't think people realize how tall you are. I feel like that's an establishment of dominance right there. Yeah.
Exactly, Marie. Exactly. Clip that, Haley.
Yes,
Yes, the dominance is already established the second they meet me. All right,
Yeah,
Dan,
Eric's
let's get into the
got
best
two
thing we've
textbooks.
seen this week. I think we should lead off with Marie Lee from Tennessee. What is the best thing that you've seen this week?
Going the quality over quantity. Vanessa with Domo Realty, she's just been hitting these home tours out of the park. So she's been using these home tours to showcase her open houses. Really like this because I feel like she is having a couple of different moments where she's showcasing what living looks like, but it's done in such a way that it's almost like a hidden Mickey. So the production is really awesome, but I think the amount of prep time for this. Maybe they had to think through some scenes, but overall, seems like it's very low prep, and I think that they pulled this together beautifully. So roll the clip.
Baby, I'm weak, baby, it's time. Tell me where we go. Whenever you're free, whenever you ride, let me hear you go. Baby, I'm weak, baby, it's time. Let me hear you go. Tell me where we go. Let me hear you go. Baby, it's sweet, we can go far. Tell me where we go. Whatever you need, you can be styled. Let me hear you go. Baby, it's sweet, we can go far. Let me hear you go. Tell me where to go. Let me hear you go.
Jeez, that song just gets better as it keeps going, huh? I felt like I was rolling at Swedish House Mafia back in 2014, Dan. My God, I'm having rollbacks here. You guys know what rollbacks are?
You took a little
candy
pill in
flipping,
Ibiza, you know? Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. To show Avicii, to show Tom Ferry I was cool.
Yeah.
Get it?
Put that. Yeah, that's a.
That video sucked. All right, moving. No, I'm kidding. That was a great video.
I like how she's in it, but she's not leading with herself, right? So I feel like a lot of agents can just have themselves as the focus. That's one. But I also like that she's in it, so it's not just the property. I feel like a lot of property tours are literally just a pan from left to right. But this is very engaging. It's got enough transitions that you're paying attention because we all know our attention spans are getting shorter by the minute every single day.
Yes.
You know, we're like goldfish. It kept my attention.
That's right.
For sure. Yeah.
It was a great video for the people at home. I was just kidding.
Yeah, we know.
Anyway, yes, Oppenheimer effect, Marie. You know what the Oppenheimer effect is? Have you seen Oppenheimer?
I just know they made that big bomb. That was really all I know.
Yeah, you
What
keep
else?
saying the Oppenheimer effect, Eric. I think that is the most horrible way to articulate you trying to say quick cuts. The Oppenheimer effect means like
You're
you
right.
dropped a nuke on something. Like if I say I just Oppenheimered you, like I just dropped a nuke on your head. Not like there's a quick ADHD cut.
That's a great point, Dan. You are. Look, I can admit when I'm wrong. I am wrong about that one. Oppenheimer in the movie, they have a cut every 3 seconds. That's why I said it. But Dan, you're 100% right. I will not be using the Oppenheimer, effect anymore.
3 billion people died.
Yeah, we
Use
gotta
the Oppenheimer
come up
effect
with
in
a
your
new
content.
name.
Just wipe out an
Yeah,
entire continent with your 7-second reel, your social proof.
Like,
All right. Anyway, Lindsay,
next.
what's the best thing that you have seen this week?
Okay,
Is it
best thing
champagne?
I've seen. No, best thing I've seen all week was a reel posted by an agent named Mo Plank out of Columbus, Ohio. So let's play it real quick, and then I'll tell you what I loved about it.
Welcome to This House is for Sale, hosted by Mo Plank. This house is in Pickerington, Ohio. This house is next to Pickerington North High School. This house has a dining room. It could also be a living room. This house has an open floor plan. This house has a working fireplace. This house has 4 bedrooms. This house has an upstairs den. This house has 2.5 bathrooms. This house has upstairs laundry. That's enough about this house. Let's show them the good stuff.
Dime, esto es lo que tú querías. Yo soy fino, esto es trap de galería.
Okay. So I like this because it's so bad that it's good. Like, it's super creative, and I feel like agents can easily take inspo from this and recreate this. I love when realtors like push the boundaries a little and try to be different. So I loved this. And also her Instagram handle is Selling Mo Homes because her name is Mo Plank, and like that's a genius IG handle. But that's beside
Mo
the
Plank.
yeah.
Mo Plank is a sick
A
name. I like the dry delivery. That was great.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Little League baseball player, like in like backyard baseball. Mo
Mo
Plank.
Plank. Yeah.
I'm getting
Yeah,
Ed, Ed and Eddie vibes, maybe
Right.
that was the name of. Didn't they have like a plank back in the day? That little piece of wood.
You're
Yeah.
right. They did, Marie. And to
Hey,
echo
Oppenheimer
that
did.
point, I actually had a piece of wood that used to live with me in the fraternity that we also called plank. I used to
Yes.
have a smiley face on one side and a frown face on the other. So anytime someone walked in the room that I did not like, I would flip plank around to the frown face, and everybody would know, oh, Eric does not like this person. He doesn't want this person in his room.
Dominance.
Great little subtle way, like,
Establishing
oh, you got a
dominance.
couple DGs in here that want to play Rihanna. Flip it around. Mean
What's
face.
a
Get out of
DG?
here. Just me and the boys.
Delta Gamma.
What?
Eric,
Delta
did you ever have
Gamma.
to? Did you ever have to carry something around with you? Because I had to carry around a plank, and like if we ever lost like said plank, like between the pledge class, we would be planking. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
Ooh, yikes.
That's
No,
hazing.
I never
I
had
think
to do
we're
that.
exposing ourselves here,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a lifetime ago. Lifetime ago.
Yeah, that wouldn't fly today in this PC world that we live in, Dan. Those were the good old days, huh? When we can make pledges do bows and toes and bring us sunflower seeds at our comm class. Just
Early
kidding,
2010s,
everyone. All right,
man. Yeah.
In our
moving
comm class, that
into-
was so spot on.
bring me a 40.
Oh, God.
Apple Bond.
Speaking of comm class, Eric, who do you have up next? You or me?
Let's do me.
All right.
All right. Here's the best thing I saw this week. It is from Ken Pozak,
Bruce
of
Benjamin?
course.
Oh, okay.
Nope, close enough. It is Ken Pozak. Guy crushes it every week. We can basically do a segment on him every week, but this is the best way to show proximity and location around your listing.
Close can you live to Walt Disney World without having to pay millions of dollars? Is this close enough? Welcome to Ovation. In Winter Gardens Horizon West, you truly are less than 10 minutes from doorstep to Disney. With builders like Taylor Morrison, Toll Brothers, Ashton Woods, MI, DR Horton, there is no shortage of options. Ranging from townhomes in the 400s to bungalow-style homes with ADUs over the garage in the mid-6s to gorgeous single-family homes, take your pick. If proximity to Disney truly is your goal, then we have something for you. How close can you live?
Wow. I mean, what a fantastic way to do that. Getting in the car and showing that it took sub 4 minutes to get somewhere. I would love to do that if I had a listing, to be like, hey, I'm only 4 minutes away from the ballpark. I'm only 10 minutes away from said coffee shop. I'm only 3 minutes away from Discovery Zone. That's a fun place to go.
Yeah.
Tumble around the old ball pit. Right, Dan?
Eric, you're 3 minutes away from what? I-95 over there?
Yeah, basically, I got the freeway running through my apartment over here. It's fantastic. That would actually be a funny video, being like, "This is how far you are away from the airport," and then you just look up. Yeah,
Just a Boeing 737 flying over Eric's
Oh
head.
my god.
Ken Pozak is
Well, that wasn't even. That
genius.
wasn't Ken. That wasn't Ken. I don't know what that girl's
That
name is,
wasn't?
but I have the biggest crush on her, and I followed her, and she didn't follow me
You have a
back, so I got
crush on her?
uncomfortable.
Oh.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yikes.
she
You
just
know what
like
the move is?
what?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
What's the move, Doctor Love? By the way,
What's
for anyone
the
that doesn't
move?
know, Eric wrote a book on like relationship, how to go out and like get a significant other. I swear, you can't make it up.
No, no, no,
Is
no,
that
no,
true or
no.
false?
It was called The Digital Game. I just had, 20 pages written. This is back in like 2013, 2012,
I don't
single
make shit
names,
up.
of course.
Was that your
And,
first
it's
ebook? Your
basically
first
like,
lead
how can
magnet?
you, yeah, it's my first
His
lead
first
magnet. It
ebook.
was like, girl doesn't respond in 15 minutes. You don't respond in 30, that sort of
Oh.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Just kidding.
good.
Seven
No, it was
Mind
business
more
days.
like,
games.
yeah, exactly. Mind game, classic
Yeah.
shit. No, it was basically, you know, instead of texting, why don't you throw up a flare, as you will call them, Dan? Throw up an Instagram story. Maybe you Venmo them $1 for a response.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Those little tactics. Let's just say the book
Back in the
never
day, you
got
put them in
published.
your top 8 on MySpace, right? You'd throw
Oh,
them,
there was
you'd put a
Drop
you
it.
song
write
that they
on
would
a
like.
mutual friends wall, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Drop
Mm-hmm.
her
a
wall, but
thirst
a
trap,
friends wall.
maybe Dan didn't drop enough
Exactly.
thirst
Ooh.
traps on his story to
No,
Yeah.
but I
So
hook
do
her
have a lot
in.
of close friends. What I've been doing is I have close friends, but I don't really have the close friend. I just put that one person on the close friend list, so they think that Sammy
Oh,
had a coughing attack. It's pretty genius. It hasn't worked at all, clearly. Yeah.
dang.
So to my point, I followed her, love her content, and everything, and then she didn't follow me, so I felt uncomfortable, and I think I unfollowed her. But I should follow
Oh
her back. They do
man.
Oh,
great content.
man.
Yeah.
Well, she's going to find out
Get her on
today.
the podcast. Let's.
yeah,
Yeah.
we
Hold
will
on.
find out later on
Haley,
for
clip
sure.
this and delete it forever.
All right, Dan, what's the best thing that you've seen this week?
So the best thing that I've seen this week is going to be my boy, my primo, my cousin here, Mr. Elon Musk. This isn't social media marketing. Don't replicate this video. Maybe you can, but this is my favorite thing this week because it is the most relatable to me in the moment and what I'm going through right now and what it means and what it feels like to run an actual business and not just kind of like be a real estate salesperson, if that makes sense. So here's Mr. Elon on running a business or being
A lot of times people think creating companies going to be fun. I would say it's really not that fun. I mean, there are periods of fun, and there are periods where it's just awful. And particularly if you're the CEO of the company, you actually have a distillation of all the worst problems in the company. There's no point in spending your time on things that are going right. So you only spend your time on things that are going wrong. And there are things that are going wrong that other people can't take care of. So you have a filter for the crappiest problem in the company. The most pernicious and painful problem. So I think you have to feel quite compelled to do it and have a fairly high pain threshold. And there's a friend of mine who says like starting a company is like staring into the abyss and eating glass. And there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
The staring into the abyss part is that you're going to be constantly facing the extermination of the company. Because most startups fail. It's like 90%, arguably 99% of startups fail. So that's the staring into the abyss part. You're constantly saying, okay, if I don't get this right, the company will die. It should be quite stressful. And then the eating glass part is you're going to work on the problems that the company needs you to work on, not the problems you want to work on. And so you end up working on problems that you'd really wish you weren't working on. And so that's the eating glass part. And that goes on for a long time.
So how do you?
Well, if there's a little motivation for everybody tuning into this. No, but Dan, I agree.
ain't for the
Being
week.
an entrepreneur, as we all are in our real estate businesses and starting business, like there is a highlight on all the negative stuff that nobody sees. Like on our band meetings, like we're constantly talking about the problems as opposed to what's working. We do a good job of talking about what's working too, because those are the things we want to highlight and emphasize. But definitely when we're running this stuff, it's like, oh, this thumbnail, or not this thumbnail suck, but like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
This isn't working. Like that's all you think about. Haley,
You don't
thumbnails
really
have been
spend-
great, by the way.
Yes, they have, except I look horrible in all of them. But no, I mean, and to your point, Eric, like you, and even me and Sammy, right? Like we're putting in these hours, like it literally is a startup, and we have something so amazing happen, and it's kind of like we like fist bump, but then it's like, here's back to fixing potential problems or coming up with solutions. And like, it truly has felt like staring into an abyss and like chewing glass, because at the end of the day, it falls back onto your shoulders, whether you're a solo, you have a team, you have a downline, or you're a media company. It's on you, right? So like that stress and anxiety is on your shoulders, whether it's financial, whether it's you have W-2 employees, whether you have VAs that are, you know, in your Slack channel that are helping out with content. If you can't make payroll, if you can't, you know, pay for the vendors, if you can't do those, you know, certain things, it falls back onto you. So starting a company or a business, which we all are, by the way, even as 1099 employees or individuals, it is that way. And I don't think many people get into real estate to run a business. A lot of us just get into real estate to sell houses. So that was why I wanted that to be my video of the week, because that was the one video I liked all week.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to the walkthrough this week. That was a value-packed episode. Make sure you go follow Lindsay Joe. Make sure you follow Move Me to Tennessee, but she will appear in your feed regardless, even if you don't. Make sure you follow. Yeah. Oh, there she is. Make sure you follow Danny Deals, Dan O'Neill. You know, it's a tradition unlike any other. The Masters. We will see you next week. I got Rory McIlroy winning the Masters. Dan, I think Rory McIlroy is going to finally take it home. So there we go. Thank you for attending the walkthrough. Make sure you throw this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next week on the best week on the real estate, the best podcast of the week in real estate.
Yeah, that one.